Good morning, evening, or afternoon to all of you beautiful people. Josh here, back to bring you some sweet voice-based content. So I have got a bunch of really big and really time-consuming videos planned for the next few weeks, so I wanted to give myself a little bit of a simpler video for this particular week and go over my top 10 games at present. Couple of ground rules for this. I can only choose one game per franchise for this top 10, and yeah, no, that's the only other ground rule. You can tell I fucking scripted this. The criteria I used for this video was kind of the games that I would always find myself going back to, games that I would talk about a lot, and games that I hold a special place in my heart. So with all the preliminary stuff out of the way, let's get on with my top 10 video games of all time at this present moment in 2023. Let's go! Number 10 is Saints Row 4. Saints Row 4 is one of those games that really doesn't take itself so seriously. Kick back with ridiculous superpowers, run around with a dubstep gun, and just have a fucking laugh. I cannot count the amount of giggles and laughs I've had talking about this game with friends and just experiencing it myself. I even repurchased it for PS4 recently, so you best believe I'm going to go through that game again. Nice. Number 9, and this little blue bastard always had to make an appearance on this list, it's Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Not only do I believe this game to be functionally one of the best 3D Sonic games on the market, but it also introduced us to Shadow the Hedgehog, who is my favourite Sonic character of all time. I love the choice to be able to go for either the good story or the evil story, and then everything coming together at the end. The storyline is really solid. And again, it's got Shadow the Hedgehog into it. I'm going to be biased. Like, it's gonna happen. Number 8, and once again, a game I have talked a lot about. It is what I believe to be the greatest psychological horror game of all time. It's Silent Hill 2. From a gameplay standpoint, it is clunky and hard to master, but that is the whole point. You are supposed to be just a dude, an idiot, with a stick with a nail in it. And that's it. That's your whole fighting ability. It also helps that it has one of the greatest and most heart-wrenching, morally questionable stories of any video game I've ever played, and it holds an incredibly special place in my heart for just being absolutely phenomenal. And also, the soundtrack to Silent Hill 2 I listen to on the regular. It is an absolute masterpiece. Thank you, Akira Yamaoka. Number 7 will take you to the complete opposite end of the spectrum with The Simpsons Hit and Run. GTA, but The Simpsons. Need I say more? I probably should. Not only from a gameplay standpoint, one of the best designed Simpsons games and one of the best designed games of the PS2 era, an absolute console-defining game. Ridiculous costumes, fun missions, a lovely overarching storyline, and just overall one of the best games of all time. Sticking with the GTA but line, we have number 6 with Bully. Bully answers the question, what if GTA but in a school? Once again, an incredibly well-designed game, really great mechanics, and it's part of that wonderful time in video games where they just threw a bunch of shit there that you could do in-game just to piss about. Playing arcade games, sliding down banisters, throwing marbles at prefects, anything you wanted to do, it was pretty much possible in Bully. And it doesn't help that Jimmy Hopkins is genuinely an interesting and well-developed character. He grows up a lot throughout the story, and he's genuinely a really well-designed and very likable character. He's not just your stereotypical meathead bully, he actually has depth and character growth, and for that, I really appreciate it. Now we're moving into the top 5, and you're going to see a theme coming along here, and that theme is going to be, these games are Japanese. And why not start off with a game that is an absolute pillar of Japanese RPGs, and that is Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII is probably my most purchased game. I own it on so many different consoles because I just love the game so much. The world of Final Fantasy VII is huge, the characters are all likable, or in some way at least interesting. Sephiroth is one of my absolute favourite video game villains of all time, and generally, I'd be just repeating what other people have said about Final Fantasy VII, so if you haven't already, go and play it, because it's fucking great. Number 4, and this one holds a special place in my heart as it was my introduction to JRPGs, number 4 is Grandia. And again, I could go off on an amazing long-ass video, which I may do in the future, about why Grandia is so great, but I'll just rattle off a few things. Interesting characters. Justin and Fina's dynamic is one of the best written romances in video games of all time, and I don't think that is a hyperbole. The battle system is genuinely really well thought out, and I'm shocked that more JRPGs didn't adopt this kind of battle system as well. It's genuinely innovative and really fun. The world of Grandia is just super interesting and super heart-wrenching. It makes you emotional, it makes you excited. There is so much to explore, so much to see, so much to do, so many people and interesting things to see. Grandia is incredible, and it may go down as one of the most underrated JRPGs of all time. Steering away from the RPG train a little bit, we have number 3, Shadow of the Colossus, one of the most heart-wrenching, soul-destroying games I have ever played in my entire life, and I absolutely love it. It's not just the incredible story that holds Shadow of the Colossus in such high esteem for me, but the Colossus themselves also feel massive. They feel strong, powerful. You have to think. You have to be strategic with everything you do. And when these Colossi go down, you feel that impact, that strength just being sapped from them, and that pain that you've caused them. Truly a once-in-a-lifetime experience. There is nothing like Shadow of the Colossus. Now, I agonized a bit with my top 2, continuously swapping them back and forth over and over and over again until I could come up with exactly the reasons why these are great games. So for number 2, it's Kingdom Hearts 2. Kingdom Hearts 2 is the greatest Kingdom Hearts game in the franchise. I will take no questions on that. The battle system had been upgraded from Kingdom Hearts 1 and Chain of Memories to the point where it was fluid, comfortable, easy to pull off really, really great combos. The new worlds that you could visit were far more interesting. Mulan was an absolutely fucking phenomenal addition to Kingdom Hearts. And even the shittier worlds like Atlantica, you could kind of breeze your way through them if you wanted to. Truly one of my favourite games of all time, and a game that holds such a close, strong part in my heart, because as well, it's one of the reasons why I'm so close with my best friend Phil. Absolutely adore Kingdom Hearts 2, but there was one game that topped the list. And of course, if you know me, it's going to be no surprise here. My favourite game of all time is Persona 5 Royal. Persona 5 feels like a game that was specifically made for me. Joker's entire aesthetic just reflects the kind of vibe that I like. He's a silent protagonist that is still well characterized, well designed, he's still interesting. Your party members are all fantastically wonderful, amazing people that surround you. The villains are actually bastards who you want to see taken down. The gameplay is solid, and of course, the music of Persona 5 is some of the greatest video game music in the world. From Rivers in the Desert to Last Surprise to everything in between, it is genuinely one of the greatest video games of all time, and I absolutely fucking adore Persona 5. I always have, I always will. It will always sit atop as one of my favourite games of all time. And there we go! So that is my top 10 favourite video games of all time. Honestly, it was actually really hard to put this list together, and I only gave myself a very small amount of time to do it because I didn't want to overthink my list. So there are obviously a few omissions. Danganronpa honestly being one of the biggest, but with the criteria that I had and the reasons why I gave for each game going on the list, I'm very happy with this top 10. So now I'm going to pass the question over to you wonderful people. What are your top favourite games of all time? Do you like any of the games that I put in my list? If so, why? Let me hear it all in the comments down below. If you did enjoy this video, then do leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more beautiful voice-based content. Keep your eyes out for my next video. I do upload every 2 weeks, and I'm going to be uploading some pretty cool content over the next few weeks. So until then, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Play some fucking great video games if you get the time. And above all else, I hope you magical souls all stay wonderful.